It'll take a couple of minutes for people to start arriving, maybe. If anybody arrives at all. This one's really short notice. I don't know who's here. If anybody wants to say hello, hello. Live chat, no, yeah, live chat. All messages. I've got the brightness up on my phone. The lamp is on, possibly a little bit too bright. Okay. UK Richie, hello, hello. I don't know if you were crossing Scruff Dogs a minute or two ago. He called it quits early, so I jumped in and thought I'll try. We'll see if anybody turns up. Just give it a minute or two. If you've got a drink with you, grab a quick snifter. I'll say cheers to the early arrivals. No planned topics, nothing planned at all, folks. So we are just going to wing it, see how it goes. If there's not many arrive, we can always call it quits early. If I run out of things to talk about, likewise, we will call it quits early. I guess I've got a couple of updates on my weather situation, which I've been building kind of a week-long video, or trying to. I think I've missed a day or two, and I've got to kind of try and backfill a little report, maybe just fill it in with some commentary. But I can update you guys in the interim once we've got a few more people here and we get started properly. I'll give it another minute before I get going properly. Audio check. How's audio? The last couple of videos on the phone haven't been too bad. Prior to that, we had some sort of clogged microphone or some issue. Hopefully that's behind us. After the last couple have been okay. Good, sound is clear. It was very muddy, those ones that were affected. Good. Let me... Chat just disappeared on me, as it does from time to time. Okay, I'll give it another 30 seconds and I'll do my intro, and we'll get the show on the road properly, I guess. Hopefully the numbers will build over time. I mean, the name of the thing isn't all that enticing. What do I call it? Something like super random or ultra random. This is a stream that I kind of had set aside, usually set for like New Year's Eve or something. It's just, and then if I need to come live quickly, I just change the date and go live. After the event, I can always edit all of the silly details that you have to give YouTube for these things. Enter a description and some keywords, all of that malarkey. Okay, I guess we'll give it another 10 seconds and then we'll make a start. Here we go, folks. Quick swig just for the throat. Okay, folks, this is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, that would be yours truly. Down and out, homeless, a tramp, a hobo, vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some people might say a bum. Someone who lives rough, perhaps on the streets, or in my case, in a field. That's Delta Mike, down and out. In Torrevieja, if you want to give it its proper pronunciation, is a city on the southeast coast of Spain, on the Costa Blanca south. And here we are, folks. I am a homeless Brit, trapped by circumstance in Spain, and I'd like to keep you guys updated with my successes, my failures, and other happenings in my life, as we used to say on the proper TrampCasts that weren't just hangouts. Back when we had a more prepared format. Now I still keep keeping the notes, I keep updating my notes, and I can always go back to doing those. The notes maybe one day will be used to make a book. The videos will also help. We'll maybe do that one day. But how are you guys all doing? I was just settling down to watch a Scruff Dog stream, and he pulled it up short on about the half-hour mark, I think. Just went live to update us with plans over Christmas and New Year, I think, and to say that he'll see us on Saturday. So I thought I'd just come live and see whether we can just chat, just hang out. Let's see who's out there, who wants to say hello. It's all just UK Richie at the minute, I believe. I don't see anybody else. Oh, it didn't scroll. Yeah, you love the fact that after chat's advice to try an earlier start, we have a late start. Them's the that's just how the dice rolls sometimes, isn't it? Them's the breaks. I will have a go at some earlier ones. I need the weather to settle down a little bit. I've spent the last few days managing my power, managing solar panels and eco flows, and deciding when I've got enough spare power to actually run my fridge. Sunday night, those of you that were here Sunday night, we waited 5 hours for thunderstorms, yeah? And they kept, every time we got near the hour and the weather forecast said, yeah, definitely thunderstorms next hour, we'd get to 5 to the hour and that would disappear. 15 minutes after we hung up at 3 o'clock in the morning my time, 2 o'clock UK, 15 minutes later, thunder and lightning. Very, very frightening. Within about 5-10 minutes, torrential, absolutely torrential downpour for 2 hours. I was starting to get worried about flooding, and apparently my tent does have a few little leaks somewhere. I can't quite trace where. I think it's at the far end. The water gets in the tent, goes under the bedroom at the far end, and comes out and wets my carpet in the living room area. So as I'm walking around backwards and forwards in my stocking feet, kind of at night or whatever, you know, a gentleman has to get up once or twice in the night. I keep occasionally standing on a wet patch of carpet. Gentlemen don't like to stand in the damp patch. Shush, now you're just telling your own jokes. But yeah, did I seal that door back up? I think so. But yeah, I've got a couple of leaks somewhere. I know I've got a little one on the side here. It's a big slit down the side of the door, or to the side of the door. That had a trickle of water coming in, but nothing much. That dried up within an hour of daylight. But the other stuff keeps getting wet again. So I got to investigate what we've got going on down that end. I did just notice tonight a couple of damp patches in the ceiling. So I think I've got, in the bedroom ceiling. So I think I've got a leak in the tent thereabouts, which is where the yob caused a split in the tent over that way, and that's where he ripped my tarpaulin to shreds that night when we had the 2 hour fist fight. It wasn't all fist. He was throwing stones and all sorts. So I've got a few leaks over there, but this all happened within quarter of an hour of us hanging up. I was hanging on and hanging on for the thunder and lightning. I wanted to try and live stream a few thunderclaps and what have you. Some of them were getting pretty close. I could feel it in my backside again, and the ground rumbling. So-called thunderquakes, which is a lovely word that we discovered. I think that was last Christmas or New Year. And the days after that have all been very mixed. Weather forecasts saying rain all day, and then you'll get a 2 hour gap of stunning sunshine, fully top up the eco flow, or maybe not fully, but get above 70 or 80%, enough to guarantee you're getting through the next day. Oscar, hello mate. We're good. Me and Tina are good. I would introduce you all to the lady, but she is at the far end of the bed with her head down, probably under the covers. I'm not actually sure. Do you want to try? I'll reverse the camera, put the light on, reverse the camera, put the flash on. No, There we go. Are you there? Okay, Tina, you're there. Hey, babe. Do you want to talk to the peoples? Hey. What if I had treats? Oh, if I had treats, you'd talk to them. I do have treats. Let's have a see. Just wait. Oh, now you're all over me. Wait. Stay where you are. I'll come to you. You don't have to move. Hey. Stay. It's okay, babe. Hold on, folks. I need 2 hands just for a second, I think. Can I... Maybe I can do that? I don't know. Hey, babe. Oh, look at you. You're all over me. Hey, babe. Treats for Tina. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Just to pimp you out to the world. I'm a bad doggy daddy, really, aren't I? Using you for publicity and just to pimp you out to the world. Here we go, folks. This is my girl. You can always get a treat. She's only just eaten about an hour ago. We went for nighttime walkies, peas and poos, and she's had her food and water. But look at her. I tell you what, babe. I'll just put those here, and you can help yourself. Take them steady. That's my girl, folks. That's my girl. I'm gonna leave her in peace. She can eat those in at her own leisure. I haven't plugged this phone in yet. That's Tina though. For people that were it was Oscar, wasn't it? Who was asking how Tina is, or how me and Tina are. What was this for? I got a cable here that's not making sense. I only had like 5 minutes to drag like the EcoFlow and the cables and things over. Okay, here's the missing link. I'll just feed the tablet a trickle charge. USB-C to A. That's a micro. Where's the other part? That's the USB-C. Okay, that is my tech. Whoa, did you just unplug? What happened? Whoa, oh no, now you say you're charging. But you're not showing how much. There's only text on the bottom of the screen saying how full it is even while it's charging. Maybe because it's on slow charge, maybe it doesn't do it. Not sure. Okay, folks, where are we? There was Oscar arriving. What was I prattling on about before that? I'm sure I was mid-flow about the weather. I was mid-flow about the weather before I distracted myself with chat. Let me think. I'll put this away. So Sunday night into Monday was all rainy. What was Monday like? Oh, one day this week. Was it Monday or Tuesday? My friend Joby got in touch. He was in a bit of a spot. I think that was Tuesday. Where's my notes? I think it needs to update. Yeah, you're a bastard. Compare notes. It hadn't synchronized, so now I have to do it. I hate this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you that Monday was very changeable. On and off. But we got enough power to get through. Monday night was horrendous again. Absolutely horrendous. Really strong winds, really strong rain, like absolutely torrential again at times. And at one point, kind of hailstony. We were being hammered by either really big raindrops, but my guess is it was hailstone. Anyway, the next morning, Tuesday morning, I get a call from not a call, but a WhatsApp message from my friend Joby, who is down kind of Punta Prima way, well, a little bit further than Punta Prima. I can't remember the name of it. I'm terrible at the names of the places further south than that. Not too far, but he, while he was out busking on the Monday afternoon, some yobs trashed his tent, sliced it up, and pissed all over his bedding and everything. Fortunately, he had everything of worth with him, everything except for the tent and the bedding. He had things with him. So but he spent Monday, while I'm saying it was all horrendous and we were being buffeted by wind and torrential rain and hailstones, he was just under a tarpaulin, under a tree, and he'd not even got the tarp set up. He was just kind of huddled under it. So I told him to stop by here. If anybody's followed the story for a while, you know that I have my 2 emergency fallback tents and a few extras of everything. 3 sleeping bags, 2 of which are survival sleeping bags, 2 bedrolls, the kind of the foam rollouts that you put on the floor when you're camping. So I told him to come by. So here's the thing about the tents. I've got the tent I'm in, which I think is probably good enough to last me through winter. I've got my next tent, my next big tent, already here in readiness, just in case. And then I've got these 2 small backup tents. Like, I think one's a 2-man, one's a 3-man, or it might be 3 and 4. Can't quite remember. I think a 2-man and a 3-man. I gave him one of the fallback tents. I gave him a survival sleeping bag, and one of these kind of, you know, like a yoga mat, like a thick yoga mat. These bedroll things. I gave him those to go back and get himself set up in a new location. The odds of me needing all that equipment seems pretty slim when I've got a good tent already. It's getting old for what these things are. I've got my next tent all ready to go, and I've still, after giving him that, I've still got 1 emergency fallback tent, which is the one I've kept, is the one from Hello Goodbye, subscriber number 100. I've kept the bright orange one. The odds of me needing these things with me now in the situation I'm in are it's pretty remote, isn't it? It's pretty remote that I'm going to need a 2 or 3-man tent to run off with and set up afresh. I got money in a little bit of money in the PayPal account. I've got money on my Tippy Tappy card. I've got all the resources I've got here. I can't imagine the circumstances where I would end up desperate enough to need that second backup tent that I've just given away, or that sleeping bag when I've got all of these quilts and covers. I've got a big pile of further bedding in the bedroom, in the other storeroom over there, in the other bedroom. I've got more sleeping bags and I've got more than I could ever need. I've got 2 big bales of towels. So I figured distribute a little bit of it, help a friend out, pay it forward, however you want to view it. Yeah, help others, especially after they've been well, he wasn't personally attacked, not physically attacked, but his camp was ruined. This is Joby that set off on a bike ride, a Camino, like a pilgrimage around the south of Spain. And then he had his bike nicked when he was up in Santa Pola, to the north of here, almost at Alicante. Looks like he's on the cusp of being donated another bike by somebody else. So I hope that works out for him, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. So that was Monday into Tuesday. He came, so Tuesday morning carried on like Monday, on and off, but really bad when it was raining. And while it was still raining, he said to me, "I'll see you in about an hour." And I thought where he was, it would take him a lot longer to get here. Like, I was thinking an hour and a half. Half an hour later, he was here because someone had lent him the bike for the day. So he came, he got the stuff, we sat, we had a couple of cups of coffee, And while we were sat, obviously the rain had stopped. We sat there, put some cushions on the wet chairs outside, and I don't know, after half an hour or a little bit longer, maybe after an hour, the sun came out and the EcoFlow started to get charged. And at one point, I was getting 80 watts, which on a day that started so dull and overcast with so much rain and with a weather forecast that was saying no sun, the weather forecast was just solid cloud and actually like a 40 or 50% chance of raining each and every hour all day long. And in the end, I got over 2 hours of sunshine. I got above 80% on the EcoFlow and started to run the fridge, the freezer. Ran the power down a bit further than I intended, and because the sun was shining, I left it running. We had power coming in. But then we got a bit of a cloud in the way, and I thought, oh, it'll pass. It didn't, so I carried on running it down more than I intended. And in the end, I gambled, and I moved the EcoFlow and the solar panel to the other side of the field to try and catch the last couple of hours of sun. And we didn't get any. We got minimal. I think I added 4 percentage points to the EcoFlow. But again, easily more than enough to get through the night, presuming we'd get a break in the clouds at some point today. And yeah, we did. Today, the weather forecast was for quite a lot of cloud, a thunderstorm somewhere around noon for 2 hours, but with little bits of sun at some points in the day. Total bullshit. We had almost perfect sun all day long. A little bit of cloud every now and again, but certainly no threat of thunder. That an hour before we got to the 2 hours of thunderstorms just disappeared off the map. So we ended up actually fully charged at one point. So once we hit 80, I put the freezer on, the camping fridge freezer that's set over there by the door. I turned that on. I even adjusted the lowest setting. I was setting it for -15. It never reaches when it registers that temperature and turns itself off. 10 minutes later, it's risen back up a load because it's only sensing the temperature in that local region. It's not sensing it in the middle of the box or anything. But it was good and cold. It was actually like -7 or so when it eased off. But again, we got up to 100%. I ran it. Once there was shade, the sun was still shining, but there was shade over the solar panel from the shadow of the tent and one of the bushes as the sun gets a little bit lower. This is an opportunity to again move over the field and try and capture some extra solar for the last hour or hour and a half at the end of the day. And again, a cloud in the way. So I ended up on about 75% charged. And I don't know, an hour or so later, I still ran the fridge for a little bit more. And forgot about it, like I always do. And suddenly we were down to like 55 or somewhere around there. But it's no problem. Tomorrow is due to be sunny all day. I got power to spare. It's all good. I think that just about brings you up to date with where I am kind of with my battles, my travails with weather forecasts and managing power. We are about to enter like the last 7 days before Christmas. And I still haven't got a sense of when I'm going shopping to get the things that I will need. I need to have a bit of an audit. I need to have a bit of a search through what I've got. So I've got I've got a 5 kilogram bag of potatoes and a 2 kilogram bag of onions. I got a kilogram of carrots in the fridge. Some of the things in the fridge are starting to, I've had them so long, like 10, 11, 12 days now, some of them. Like there's a kilogram of tomatoes in there that are just starting to not enjoy being there. So I've got to take stock of that, use up what needs using up, and plan on replacing. I need to check my potatoes and see what state they're in. I haven't touched them in a few weeks. Got to check out all of that and then plan for how I get me and Tina to the shop. Maybe 3 times in this last week to get fully ready for Christmas. I'll have to go in the last day or two before Christmas to try and get like either a full frozen turkey. Stuff like parsnips don't appear until right up at the time. Brussels sprouts, if they appear, I'll grab, but I might have to get frozen. All of that, I got to plan that. But then there's the booze run. Got to have a little bit in over Christmas. Some beers and a bottle of Baileys. Maybe a bottle of, I don't know. Maybe. To span the whole of Christmas and New Year. I don't want to go shopping in between Christmas and New Year if I can avoid it. Often limited hours and a big rush, a crush of people and dog. It's difficult to get there. It's kind of all uphill from here. And like I said, last time I went, the one time I've been this year, it was further away than I thought. I thought it was about 1/3 of the way to the other supermarket. It's about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way. And like I said, uphill, dragging the dog, having to give her when she's on the incline and kind of stalls, I have to give her a bit of a pull. Then you've got the ramps down from footpaths and ramps up footpaths, and some of the curbs don't have a ramp, so I have to pick the dog and the chariot up with one hand, which not too bad on the way there when I'm empty-handed, but coming back when I've got bags on my shoulders and bags in this hand, and I'm trying to bend over without having it all come off my shoulder. Bit of a struggle. Frank's here, Frank Nadobody. Hello, Frank. Hi guys, hello. Questions, comments. Have we got any newbies in? Any new stoppers by who want to say hello in chat? Come and introduce yourself. Ask what's going on. Ask questions. Why are you in a tent? Why are you a Brit trapped in Spain? All those puzzling questions that you may be asking. Why did you go live at so late and at such short notice? Why is your dog down the other side of the bed and ignoring you? Hey Tina. I see you, little bugger. She's very independent. What are we getting? I should have silenced. Whoa, that scroll chat. No, didn't you? Hold on, we're gonna have to have words. No. I got to scroll chat all the way back. UK Richie. I'm sure you've sent me money twice in the last week and a half already. Thank you, my friend, but tread lightly, or I will push that refund button. I got no sense of what your personal situation is. Maybe you're a multi-millionaire. I've no idea. What happened on the Scruff stream? I missed it. He didn't have anything to do or say. He had nothing to build. I think he just updated us on kind of the schedule over Christmas. This was the last Wednesday stream till the new year. When we come back, the Thursday streams, the MRE stream, I think he's going to change the weeks. It's alternate Thursdays, but I think he's going to switch to the other one because he's clashing with Clive's Patreon stream. Just stuff like that. He was just updating us, telling us what the plan is, and he just did half an hour and called it a day. So yeah, nothing bad. It wasn't a power cut, nothing like that. Hello, Anthony, my friend. You'll be out here in a few days. Oh, you haven't updated me actually. Is that right? Did you? Are the plans still the same? Tell me in private if you don't want to say in public. That's fine. Yeah, Clive's streaming on his big Clive streaming. I think it's his Patreon stream. Again, alternate Wednesday. Is it alternate Wednesdays? Hold on. No, I'm not sure. Doesn't Clive often clash with? Isn't it the MRE stream he clashes with? I thought it was his Thursday stream, Scruff's Thursday stream that clashed with Clive. I don't know. Anyway, Scruff ended on I think it was on 11 o'clock at my time. God, it'll be like 5 o'clock your time, Frank. And I gave myself a quarter of an hour to get organised and get live, and I almost fluffed it. It almost took me over a quarter of an hour. I only just managed to sit down, and I remembered to turn the light on. I'd almost forgotten. I'm just trying to think, who have I got? Have I got friends over here this Christmas? Tom's going home in a few days. Anthony there might be coming out, but I haven't. I'll probably chat with him in private. It's raining where you are now. Well, that's an improvement on snowing and what have you. Unless it's close to freezing and you're going to get black ice on the roads as your nighttime impinges. I hope that's not what happens. I don't even know what the temperature is here. I did take my jumper off and my snood for most of the day. And then I just put it on out of habit as we got to evening, and I started closing the doors to try and lock some heat in. I just put the jumper and snood on out of habit. Oh, it's not a warm one. It's currently 12. It's going to drop to 11, maybe 10. This next week we're going to have a lot of days around about 8 Celsius. Let me do the conversion for those of you that aren't cognizant of your Celsiuses. Double 8 to 16. Knock off 10%. That'd be about 2. So 14. Add 32. 46. I'm going to call that 46. In your Fahrenheit, in your proper British Empire units. I always like to throw that in. Imperial, appertaining to empire. Did you just get out of bed, darling? Where are you going? You trying to go get a drink of water? Hold on. Give me a second. I'll be with you. Give me a second, folks. I just got out my doggy. I presume she's going for water. Go on then. Go get water. Go on. Go. Well, you're fighting me. You don't want to go. What are you doing then? Did you just fall off the front of the bed and you want to get back on? Oh, I can help with that as well. Go get a kiss. Kisses. No, just a sniff. Not a proper kiss for your daddy. Well, that's not good, is it? Hey, I interrupted talking to the people to come and help you. Now I've got to rebuild the bed. Oh, that's one cover. No, it's not. That's 2. That's 3. Where's number 4? Here it is. The pretty one, just so the bed doesn't look so disgusting for everybody else watching. Where's my backrest? Oh, bit of lumbar support, folks. Bit of lumbar support. And get tucked in. Yeah, it's not especially warm. It's not especially cold either, to be fair. But yeah, let's have a look. It's going to be 10C here Friday. Oh, it's going to get warmer at night. Okay. So what, you got clear, well, you would have had clear skies. Now you've got a bit of rain come over and it's just going to cloud over fully overnight and maybe get a bit warmer. Maybe the wind will drop. Talking with older Canadians today, they prefer imperial for speed and distance. We do that in the UK. We're still miles per hour and miles per gallon and, you know, all of that. But those of us that have lived abroad a while are adapting to the kilograms more, even for weight. I couldn't tell you my weight anymore in English, stones and pounds. I could probably sit and calculate it. Oh, I'd have to know what my weight was first. I don't actually know. I always used to hover around the 100 kilograms mark. Christmas, I would go up to about 104, 105. I do like to feast at Christmas when I've got the money, which I did have back in the day. So I would put on like a good 3 or 4 kilograms and sometimes a little bit more. It's the chocolates, it's the cakes, it's the big meals, the Yorkshire. I like a plate, a full plate Yorkshire pudding, or even a full baking tray and take halves or quarters. Yorkshire pudding, sit my Christmas dinner inside it, roast potatoes, sometimes a bit of mashed potato alongside it, and obviously, you know, I was cooking turkeys here in Spain. I was cooking turkeys, but I was living on my own, so it's just me and Tina eating the turkey. So you got to get through it within 2 or 3 days, otherwise it starts to go bad. So the final day you're cooking stocks and soups and whatever you can make out of whatever's left. Carrots, sprouts, parsnips would be the veg of choice in all of that, and a good gravy made with a lot of the fat from the chicken, from the turkey. Fuck, where did I get chicken from? Take some of the juices and fats from the turkey. Mix in some actual turkey granules, little bit of red wine maybe. Well, reduce some red wine first and put that in. Maybe mix in something fruity like some cranberry into the gravy juices, into the gravy mix, and yeah, and a bit of hot water, and away you go. That would be my Christmas lunch, and we call it Christmas dinner. Typically 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so that you're available to watch the monarch's speech, whichever monarch it was at the time. All my life it was the Queen's speech, obviously, and the last couple of years not so much. But yeah, I always put on weight at Christmas, was what I was saying. I don't actually know my weight anymore, because that first year of being homeless, that first 4 months from the August to Christmas, I lost a third of my body weight. I went from 100 kilograms down to 67, according to a set of weight scales that I pulled out of a bin, which I probably should have kept, but I took them out of the bin, put them on the ground, stepped on them, just the old type that just, what's it called, a spring balance, whatever. The dial spins around, it tells you the weight, and yeah, down from 100 to 67. No idea now. I've clearly put some back on, but I don't know to what extent. But yeah, mixing and matching imperial and metric. That's the British way now. Almost everything in shops is sold per kilogram or per litre. Milk might still be marked in pints, but with the litre equivalent next to it. But the litre is often just a like 3.69 or something, rather than, you know, you get X number of pints and the litre comes as the main, often not as a round number. Beer is still pints. British pints, American pints are different. Our pint is 20 fluid ounce, yours is a mere 16. Which technically would make more sense, given that it was based on a pound originally. The ounces and the fluid ounces should match ish. We cheated. We like bigger pints because beer. That's the only. I don't know if that's official, but that's the only answer I can come up with for why we changed the size of a pint, and therefore the size of a quart, the size of a gallon, and all the rest that carries on from there. Yeah, pints, gallons, pounds and ounces. Ooh, pounds and ounces. What would you use those for? When we used to go to the shop for our bag of sweets, we'd buy 4 ounces. That's a quarter of a pound. I don't know what you would use pounds and ounces for now. I don't know. 19.2. So you're kind of up towards the British end of things. So different from an American pint. That's interesting. How does a tramp cook a turkey in a field, or will it not be a whole turkey? I've pondered this question, and the cooking, I won't have a problem with the cooking. It's whether or not I can get a whole turkey at a reasonable price, whether I can get a turkey at all. I don't even know if the Spanish do turkey at Christmas. We've got the different days as well. They do theirs the 24th. I probably will as well. How will I cook it? If I get a whole one, I'll probably spatchcock it and put it in a so cut either side of the spine, open it out, and just put it face down in a frying pan with another frying pan over the top, and try and cook it on a low and slow heat, because I'm over direct flame and don't have an oven. It will essentially be, it'll be a cross between roasting and frying. Try and put it in one pan with a bigger pan upside down over the top. Ideally, get the turkey off the base of the pan, so a trivet, couple of 3 carrots in a triangle at the bottom, and put or however many it needs. It might be too big for a pan. I might have to do half a turkey one day and half a turkey the next, maybe, or maybe 2 days later if I can keep it in the fridge long enough, in the freezer long enough. I don't think I would freeze it, but I could get it very cold. So if I was to cook one on Christmas Eve through the day, have that on the evening of Christmas Eve, and I'll have part of it that night and part of it Christmas Day, and then cook the other half, say Christmas evening or early Boxing Day, and have that Boxing Day and the next day, something like that. But yeah, a trivet to rest, to get it up off the base of the pan, because the base of the pan is going to have flame under it, which I don't really want. If I can make it more of a roasting type thing by having oils and a little bit of water. The secret to making a turkey not dry is to put water in the base, lift the turkey up and off. A little bit of water in the base, a little bit of oil or butter or whatever directly on the turkey and in the turkey, if it's a whole turkey. But a little bit of water and cover with foil, and yeah, something like that. That's how I was used to do it in a roasting tin. I'd have the turkey up on a rack and a cup of water in the bottom, and of course as it cooks and releases juices into the water at the bottom, a lot of the water will evaporate. You get the juice at the bottom, and then later on you can baste it, and at the end take the silver foil off and put it under what the Americans call the broiler, what we would call the grill, the heat from above in the oven. That'll be all very different for me cooking in a field. It'll be a logistical nightmare, which is why I will want to get some of the stuff done the day before Christmas Eve. Yeah. I haven't quite worked out what gets done the day before Christmas Eve, what gets done on in the afternoon of Christmas Eve. and what that leaves me needing to do if I need a second batch of stuff on Christmas Day. Most veg I would cook on the day it's going to be eaten, and do 2 batches on the different, one on each of the different days. I think making stuff like stuffing, gravy, maybe bread sauce if I do a bread sauce. Maybe those could be done well in advance. The Yorkshire pudding I could do in advance. Depends whether I'm doing it in a frying pan or in I haven't got an actual roasting tin. I don't think. So I'll probably do one in the big frying pan. Maybe the day before, cut it up and put it into Tupperware. Maybe. And then on the day, warm it up in the frying pan again and reassemble it on the plate back into a circle. I don't know, folks. I haven't sorted out the logistics of buying it or the logistics of cooking it, especially with 2 days. Having a Christmas meal on the evening of the 24th and on the day of the 25th, the afternoon of the 25th. It's a little bit of a logistical nightmare with only having one ring. Imperial scales. Yeah, the weight scales, yeah. What's the smallest turkey you can buy? I have no idea. They all look huge to you. Yeah, I don't remember what size. I think. What did I get last year? I think I just bought a turkey crown. I don't think I bought anything spectacular. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I've seen them as low as 6 or 7 kilogram. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But you can probably buy you can probably buy them in halves or whatever. You can definitely buy. They sell turkey here all year round. It's not. This is why I'm not sure that they'll make a big deal of it at Christmas. It's in the fridge section, the meat section, all year round in various slices and breasts and pieces. So even if they don't make a big deal, even if there aren't turkeys, I can probably just buy enough turkey meat of one form or another, which would be an easy cheat. It'll save on trying to cook. I mean, a whole turkey is going to take what? Oh God! You see, here we go. I would say it depends on sizes, but between 15 and 20 minutes per pound, and then 20 minutes for the pot or for the oven. But then you've got to convert your kilograms to pounds and start multiplying. I don't know what to say per kilogram. Let's say you were going to go 15 minutes per pound. You're looking at 35 minutes per kilogram, and then 20 or 30 minutes at the end on top. You got calculations to do. That's if you're roasting it whole. If you're spatch cooking it, you can probably cut that to somewhere between a third and a half of the cooking time. I don't know, folks. It's going to be a logistical nightmare. We might have the weather to contend with. What if the wind's blowing strong and everything's taking longer to cook because the flame's not under the pan? What if it's raining? What if it's cold and therefore you're losing heat out of the pans almost as quickly as you're putting it in, and you might get nowhere. I might have to postpone it by a day or 3. This is why I'm looking out at the weather forecast as other days appear in 7, 8, 9 days. I want to see how that progresses. I haven't got a sense of what they're saying the weather's going to be next Thursday, isn't it? Oh well, it'll be next Wednesday for the Christmas Eve. Yeah, I don't know. It's all up in the air, folks. I'm a tramp in a field trying to wing it a little bit. Christmas will be pretty miserable for those losing their jobs. It will indeed. For anyone who's losing their jobs, for anybody who's facing homelessness, and for people that are homeless, except for me. It won't be too bad for me. Yeah, it's. I'm kind of, compared to most homeless people, I'm kind of sitting quite pretty, aren't I? Is it camping? Is it glamping? It's something like that. What with having the power and the lights and basically a 3-room tent, 2 bedrooms and a living room. You never know. I might even clear off the big old chair there to sit in. I might set my TV up. I assume that the King's speech will be broadcast on the internet live in some way, without them bitching about TV licenses and shit. Maybe I'll make a point of watching that. I mean, I'm not a royalist or anything, but there's just something traditional about it. Maybe. I know Oscar will disagree with me, and so will probably half the country. But tradition, what can you do? I'll set my Christmas tree up at some point. I haven't got that. I haven't had that plugged in for the last few days because of power. If it ran on DC, it would use half the power. But having it to plug in and turn the inverter on, I think more than doubles the power drain. I think it runs on something between 12 and 20 watts. But as soon as you're plugging it into the inverter, you've got a 30-watt overhead. So I can only run it on the days when I've got definitely enough power, and even then it can only be for an hour or maybe an hour and a half. Go too overboard, and I'd be running out of power even on days when I had plenty. Rolls-Royce looking at moving 1.6 trillion jet engine project and 40,000 of Britain's top jobs to America. That's a strange choice. You want to move it to a more expensive labour force? Why would you do that? Are they putting it in the southern states and hoping for the Mexican workforce? I don't know. I haven't heard that, but okay, this is the net zero policies. Didn't the Tories announce that they're cutting back? If they get in at the next election, they're going to cut back on a lot of that stuff, like the all cars having to be electric within, is it 10 years from now? Was it 35? They're saying no, that's unworkable. We're gonna, I don't know if postpone it to a later date or withdraw it and end it altogether. I only saw the headline. I didn't dive in. UK Richie has a friend who works for Rolls-Royce in Derby. Oh, she thinks Derby will close. Wow. Frank's late wife's mother made the best Christmas dinners. She also had 4 ovens. Yeah, that'll help. Yeah. 4 ovens and a big range, like an Aga, or something like that, where you've got like 6 rings, or 4 normal rings and a big, like a wok burner or something in the middle, and then 4 ovens. Back in the day, when houses were coal powered, a few members of my family had them built in the chimney breast. So yeah, built in the chimney breast next to the coal fire, and also a back boiler for boiling water and heating the house, boiling the water and pumping it round radiators. And I don't think, when I say pump, I don't think it was pumped like an electric pump. There was some kind of magic gravity system Warm water rises, moves along. As it kind of cools, it falls. It circulates through the radiators and cools even more because of the radiators, and works its way back down and gets heated up again. And it was no electric pump needed. I don't know what that's called, that kind of circulation, but it sounds like magic to me, but it's real. Yeah, they had all the technology back then. In a power cut, it didn't fucking matter. You still had heat, you still had hot water, and you could still cook, boil water, make coffee. You do all the things. And this was back, what, in the 70s still. It was all still there. It was kind of a yellowy enamel finish over what, it must be cast iron or whatever inside, I would imagine. But a mustard, not a fuck off yellow, but like an orangey, yeah, like a mustardy yellow, mottled kind of enamel effect. I've no idea. But yeah, they had all the tech back then, folks. They closed the Rolls Royces this on Nightingale Road some years ago. Oh, okay. Frank's mum, my mother-in-law, got thick sliced turkey breast and rolled them up with stuffing in the middle. That'd be nice. We once had to go at one of those fucking turducken things. Bad idea. Packing a bird inside a bird inside a bird, and then stuffing right in the center. You end up with no cavity. Suffice to say, insufficiently cooked, food poisoning, Christmas Day or Christmas evening on the loo. Not a fan. Not a fan. I could eat all, if those birds were all just served up separately in separate slices on a plate, great. But why make it more difficult? You need some cavity inside the bloody bird for the heat to get in. Otherwise, you're doubling your cooking times. And if people aren't familiar with the process, as we were, what, 23, 24? Yeah, it was our first go at anything silly like that. And we messed it up. And spent the evening running up and down the stairs, shall we say. As kings go, Charlie seems okay. Oscar would beg to differ with you, but all right, Charlie. I knew you'd a convection system, I guess. Yeah, heat rising and cool falling and circulating. Need big pipes for it to work. Well, I guess back then they probably had them. It wasn't an uncommon system around our way. A coal mining town. Don't forget. So and kind of half the workforce worked in one pit or another, one mine or another. You should have seen the size of the radiators. Those big old cast iron ones with the big thick ribs. Scalding hot. Yeah, they would build a box around them so that there was no chance of anybody touching the radiators. They were kind of too hot at times. Yeah. Laying pipe all night. It wasn't really pipe, mate. It was more pebble dash. Farmer making a point of welcoming me to my own stream. There we go. Terry, hello mate. I almost looked past you there. Sorry, I was reading the others all saying hello to each other, and then I glanced down. Yeah. So we're coming for 1 hour in. I don't know how much more I've got to say. Let's see what we can come up with. Other thoughts for what to do over Christmas and New Year, other than other than the cooking on the day itself. I mentioned I might have some kind of open night at some point, but now that I'm thinking that if I end up cooking on the 23rd to prep stuff for the 24th, cooking on the 24th to prep for the 25th, and then eating Christmas dinner on the 24th, eating Christmas dinner or Christmas lunch, I guess, on the 25th. I don't know when I would have open house or open field. Maybe Boxing Day. I don't know, because that's not really a tradition over here, I don't think. But then again, it would be mainly Brits or whatever that were coming over, I assume. I don't know who's here. I don't know who I've got over here at that point. So what else to do for all those days between Christmas and Christmas and New Year? Don't know. And how much time will I spend managing my power usage? Do you know, my mate Joby, somebody gave him the next generation EcoFlow river. And then a few days later, someone stole it. And he owes me a little bit of money from when I've helped him out in the past. And I was saying I could have... He was saying how he wasn't that bothered that it went because it doesn't fit in with how he's living. He's mobile. He's on he's mainly moving around on a bicycle, except that got stolen. But the EcoFlows are a bit bulky for putting on a bike, especially when he's got all this other stuff to take with him. And he was saying he wasn't really enjoying having it for those few days. And I was thinking, fuck, I could have written off the debt and chucked you a few more euros for a second EcoFlow. But then I'm thinking, yeah. Then I start thinking I'll need another fucking solar panel. And where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? I did look at one point about like the trading price for an EcoFlow, how much they give you back, and it's a pathetically small amount. I can't remember the numbers now, but I remember feeling gutted. I was starting to think about upgrading to an EcoFlow Delta, or even just a bigger EcoFlow River, one with bigger capacity or higher solar input. But they were only offering like 30 or 40 euros back on a second-hand thing that cost 250 to begin with. That seemed a bit suboptimal. Still, more power would be good, wouldn't it? And extra panels would be good. But I'm a tramp in a field. I've got to stop thinking in terms of upgrading like that. Let's live within the constraints that I have with the devices available to me. But it does mean that I could spend half of Christmas just monitoring and moving solar panels around and deciding when and where I can use when and where I can power the fridge freezer. Yeah, I'll probably spend half of Christmas doing that. Don't forget we need video evidence of all these plans. The cooking in particular is going to be such a juggling act that there's no way I'm going to be filming that. The logistics of it, I mean, I can't even sort out the logistics in my head. It'll probably be a mad dash over that 3-day period. But I'm starting to think about what I can prep on the 23rd, what I make on the afternoon of the 24th, ready to sit down and eat on the 24th, have as much leftover as possible for the 25th, and top up, make extra veg or whatever I need on the morning of the 25th. But I've got to plan all the shopping first, make sure I actually have things that can make a Christmas dinner. So I've got to buy at least 12 eggs, but I prefer buying them in 24s. I've got to get them home though with a dog and a buggy and whatever else I've got with me. It's It's tricky. I do have an extensive shopping list kind of pre-prepared, and I'll have to pick and choose from too long a shopping list. I'll have to pare it down, otherwise it's going to cost me about €500. I'm pondering whether to buy a bottle of, it won't actually be Bailey's, that'll be too expensive, whether to buy a bottle of a cheaper Bailey's substitute or whether to make my own. I do have a few, I've got most of the ingredients. What are you looking at? Some milk, some cream, condensed milk perhaps, but you can make your own condensed milk. A bottle of whiskey, some sugar, and some instant coffee, which is all I drink, the instant. So I got more or less all the ingredients. I've got empty 2-litre pop bottles every now and again. I could make a goodly amount potentially. The people who do the recipes online say don't be icing about with 700 milliliters. Don't be messing about with kind of 2/3 or 3/4 of a liter. Make yourself a good sized batch. The stuff is so if the cream curdles, the fake Baileys ends up looking like cat's egg. I can imagine so. Kind of a risky, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. Can you sift it out? I have a sieve. I have a funnel. What would make the cream curdle? I'm not sure. You're not adding anything too acidic. You're not adding anything acidic, are you? And you're not applying heat. I'm not sure. I don't know why it would curdle. Don't know, folks. It might be adding alcohol risks making it curdle, does it? Okay, I didn't know that. It might be easier just to buy a knockoff bottle. I mean, the alcohol's fairly cheap out here in general. So we'll see. I don't know. I've got to figure out what I'm buying, where I'm buying, and when I'm buying. I'm sick to the back teeth of paying €5 for a 12-pack of beer here, when it's only 3.5, just over, in the supermarket. But the distance to bring it back on foot, on my shoulder, while picking dog chariots up and down. Don't know. Do I just carry on buying it here and put up with the extra charge and just view it as a surcharge, as a fee for the convenience of not having to carry it from the supermarket? I don't have to walk a kilometre there and a kilometre back. A little bit less. I don't know how to view that, but get pork chops and making a covered Dutch oven with olive oil, garlic, tomato, oregano, and then add salt, and then add water. I'm just going through pork chops still at the minute. They're not really chops. There's no bone or whatever, but they're pork. I don't know what the term is. I got to get those finished off before they start to turn. Sat on them for too long because of bad weather, meaning that I couldn't cook. Pork loin, that could well be the term. It could indeed. See, I'm reading the Spanish names, which don't there are words, and I know to buy that thing, but I haven't translated all of the words. I might treat myself to some morchella, is it called? Basically the Spanish version of black pudding, made with rice rather than oats. But it's the same principle. It's a blood pudding or a blood sausage. It's not really sausages. They make them more into an egg shape. So blood pudding would be a more appropriate term, even though that's the American term. So yeah, I gotta sort out in my mind the logistics. I think I need 3 shopping trips over the next 6 days. So we'll probably go and get as much of it as I can carry tomorrow. Probably end up carrying too much like I did the other day. Some of these shops now don't do baskets. The beauty of a basket is you can judge the weight of what you've bought, and I can kind of guesstimate when it gets too much. Making you go around with either a full-size trolley or a half-size trolley in lieu of a basket, you don't get that sense of the weight of everything that you've bought. And so once you've finished and you get out of the shop, then you've got the shock of how much you've got either on that shoulder or in that hand. And then you've got the problem of dog and wheelchair. If I was going on my own, I'd take the old lady shopping trolley. Or I might even, if I was on my own, I might even risk walking there and get a taxi home. If you can call it home. A homeless guy talking about home. I would always have it. No, it'd be too late now. I was going to say I could always have a dabble with trying to sign up for delivery, but we're far too close to the date. There'd be no delivery slots available. Even if they accepted my address, which probably wouldn't. If I could get some footage, what, of me cooking a Christmas dinner on a single gas ring? I think you got no chance. I tried doing footage of going shopping, and it almost killed me. Not as bad as the footage of trying to go up to Torre del Morro. Fuck. That did kill me. I think I died that day. I certainly came home and threw up from the exertion. What days, if any, are shops closed? They will close early on the 24th. Probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so that people can get home to have their family time. Because 24th is the big day for them. They will almost certainly be closed all day Christmas, and the day after they may be 3. They have these holiday hours on specific things. They'll be closed on the Sundays, and New Year's Day will be everything will be closed. Everything everywhere will be closed. Other than that, business as usual for most of these things. I'm not sure what his policies are at the Chino Bazaar here. If there's anything that I need. I mean, there won't be. I don't get much from there. It's a huge shop, but it's so expensive. I said about a mini, like a half can of fly spray was a £5, and a large can was 10. That's like £2.50 in the supermarket. 4 times the going rate. 4 times. the craziest shit ever. I went in, I walked around until I found it because I had no idea where it was. It's not a part of the shop I'd ever been in. When I found it, I just stood there with my jaw open and then started swearing. What the fuck? I'm not fucking. And I'm chuntering to myself. What the fuck? I'm not fucking. What the fuck is that? A little one, twice as expensive as a big one in the supermarket. Because it's basically everything's 4 times the price. It's the same with these, was it Doritos or was it the other ones? The triangular Mexican crisp things that you dip in a salsa sauce. No, a spicy salsa or a spicy sauce. Salsa-ish sauce, isn't it? The trolleys have wheels, better anything with wheels. Not when you're trying to judge how much you've bought. Taking a cab back with groceries. Tramping a field doesn't have much in the way of money. And do taxis take tippy-tappy? Or does it have to be cash? Don't usually have much in the way of cash. I am sat on a big note at the minute, but that's probably not something I'm going to be handing over to a taxi. Farmer, we do fish on the 24th, like salt cod, calamari, squid, shrimps and mussels. But scallops probably this year. Scallops. We're very much turkey. I don't know about the Spanish. I maybe should read up on what they do. Mr. S, hello. Whenever Farmer starts talking about food, you get peckish. Yeah, he does this all the time. Over on Scruff Dogs, it's Farmer and Lockwatcher are the foodies. So yeah, folks, the whole logistics of shopping for Christmas and cooking for the 2 days that matter at Christmas. Hopefully Boxing Day takes care of itself with leftovers, as long as I've left enough room in the fridge. Yeah. Judging what to put in the fridge freezer and what to leave out for a day or 3. The Feast of the Seven Seas, never heard of it. That's an in-joke between you lot. That particular can of beer is getting warm and there's still quite a bit left. Maybe been in my hand too much. Okay, folks, have we got any lurkers out there who want to come and say hello? Any newbies who've just stumbled across the stream listed on YouTube? I didn't promote it. I haven't put it out there on Twitter or any kind of community posts or anything. It was all rather last minute. But if anybody wants to come and say hello, if anybody wants to a quick rundown of the who, how, what, when, where, why, what's that there? I got some kind of weird, is it a reflection? No, it's not a reflection of the tent. What is it? Oh, it does move. Okay, it's not real. It's these lights. There's like a ray of light showing, but the lights themselves aren't here. Yeah. You get the same effect. Yeah. Any updates on Tina? What kind of updates are you looking for? Deterioration continues. She's not going to get better. I just adjust and adapt as things get slightly worse. I'm amazed, folks, that she's made it this far. I'm amazed. This time last year, I was saying that that was going to be her last Christmas. This, almost. I mean, I would be gobsmacked if she's still with us this time next year. Used the chariot lately? Not really. The weather hasn't been. What's the word I'm looking for? The weather hasn't been suitable for going anywhere of any distance. I've been having to hover here to manage power, and the weather's been bad on and off. So even when the weather's good, I'm having to adjust what to turn on, what to turn off, what to plug in, what to unplug. See, the EcoFlow needs 15 watts clear. So if I plug a tablet in and it's taking 14 watts, if this is drawing 14 watts, and we get 15 watts coming in, it doesn't charge. It doesn't charge the EcoFlow. It passes the power straight through to here, and you're left with a, say, a 1 watt free, which isn't enough for anything. So whatever's plugged in, you have to get 15 watts more than it's draining. So if you suddenly find yourself with, say, 20 watts coming in, unplug the phones and the tablets so the EcoFlow gets to 20 watts. Then if it drops back below 15, plug the tablets or the phones in. Adjust the panels and make sure you've got optimum direction and lean. Later on, move the panels across the field if you're chasing totals. If you've got lots of power, plug the freezer in, but make sure it doesn't keep running once the sun isn't shining. All sorts of manipulation and calculations to be had, just to try and maximize. Especially, it's not so much to get through this day or this night, it's that tomorrow, well, you know, the next day might not have any sun at all. And some of these weather forecasts have been showing like 2-3 days, even 4 days with no discernible sun. And with rain all day or thunderstorms all day. Now most of those seem to evaporate and never happen. But I have to be ready in case. So taking off for a few hours with the chariot doesn't happen. Oh, the weather outside is frightful. Dome, delightful. Yeah. Die Hard. I still said Die Hard's Christmas film. 1 and 2, definitely. And the other bunch, Lethal Weapon. Aren't the first 2 of those Christmas films? Okay, Farmer and Frank are discussing fish on the 24th. Boiled salt cod soaked in water and changed daily for 3 days, then fried shrimps. Father got some scallops. Tiny scallops. Sounds like cockles. Die Hard films are the best Christmas films. I agree. But apparently the UK public voted saying no, they're not. And Brucci, he always said no, they're not. But then he's lost his marbles. We don't have to listen to him anymore. Don't mean to be cruel. I liked Bruce Willis. Right back to the moonlighting days when he made his beginnings. And then when he left that and became a singer and sang Under the Boardwalk. I was in the pier in Morecambe, in the slot machine arcade on the pier in Morecambe, just before it burnt down, when it was announced that Bruce Willis, the wisecracking actor from Moonlighting, was going to do an action film. And we all pissed ourselves laughing. And so did like the people on the radio. I think it might have been like Steve Wright in the afternoon or something. It came on the news and then they discussed it. And nobody could believe it. Action film? That wisecracking guy off Moonlighting? The rest is history. How wrong we all were. He had quite the career as the action star. Still with some wisecracking. But then did you notice at the end of his career he was taking anything? He was doing total slop. You didn't understand why he was in these backwater low budget movies. But now it makes sense. He was struggling to remember lines. He probably wasn't getting the big Hollywood gigs, and he needed to do anything to get the cash in to try and see him through whatever time he may have. Yeah. I got no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, yeah. And then there's a line about cheersing or something, isn't there? Which, rather than toasting. Is Bruce still with us? I think so, yeah. Oh, he's got some kind of severe form of dementia. A severe form of early onset dementia. I don't think it's Alzheimer's. Although, I don't think I ever read up on the specifics. It isn't a Christmas movie, says Farmer. It was a Christmas party. I know, but you're at a Christmas party. That makes it a Christmas film. When do you have Christmas parties? In the last few days before Christmas. I'm sure we've had this discussion many times. I know it's like Southern California or whatever, and yeah. Is that cats? Cats fighting. You always have to check in case it's a woman screaming who's been dragged into a field. Hold on. The Wandering Waif and Stray. Hello. Hope weather's better. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't see you. You could have come round if I'd have answered quick enough. No, I didn't get your message until I don't know, late evening, early night. Yeah. No, I okay, you email back in England, you email me, it's a bit hectic. I can understand that. Life is often hectic. Frontotemporal. I've never seen the word fronto as a prefix. Maybe that's a type of front temporal dementia. Is really awful. Is it life ending? Some of these things you live with like forever, and some actually lead to such a decline that it's an end of life thing. Why am I asking you? I could look at it myself, couldn't I? If I wasn't too lazy. The fuck? If the cats carry on, they'll have Tina barking at them. The Wandering Waif and Stray. It's always interesting to put when someone's first contact is via email, and then you see the handle online, or vice versa. When you get the handle and then you get an actual name. I'm trying to scroll and there's nothing more to scroll to. I'm twisted a little bit strangely, guys. Oh, it's putting out. it's putting a strain on an already cricked back. All this carrying Tina all the time. And she has I'm carrying her back end with the belt, and she's ahead of me or off to the side of me, and then she'll step off suddenly. She'll go off into the grass, and she both back legs come off the ground, and she starts doing a wee wee. But I'm suddenly at arm's length, holding her off the ground for 20 seconds or so, with no warning. It's quite a stress on the back, and I almost took a painkiller a couple of nights ago. I'm kind of tempted now. I've got a definite something going on back there. Mr. S encouraging people to lick the like button. He's rhyming with flick and kick, I believe. Flick, kick and click. Lick, trick. No, come up with another one. There's such a crick in my neck. Yeah, they get around. Don't let those thoughts win. Let me finish this beer, guys. I've now got down to about here. I just it isn't as cold as I like. And I haven't left the bin bag open. I'll just have to okay, that's not right. Oh shit, I wasn't supposed to do that. Fuck, I was supposed to keep that, and when I lift this light and lift out one of these beers, I was supposed to put the empty under there to maintain the tripod of beers. Now they're standing on a bipod, which isn't always the most stable of structures. Cold as ice. You're as cold as ice. Song lyrics. You're as cold as ice. Who is it? Europe? No. It's one of those soft rock kind of. Someone give us the answer. Mr. S is switching to lurker mode. If you don't speak to you, I'll have a good stream and sleep well for later. Cheers, Mr. Sharafsha. That's better. A proper cold drink. An hour and a half to drink a can. Did I open it on stream, or was that one already open when you got here? Boston. I'm going to go Boston. Cold as ice. I gotta, if nobody's going to tell me who it is, I'm going to have to look it up. It's one of those, they call it yacht music now, don't they? That kind of soft rock. Cold as ice. Oh, did I type it right? I did. Cold as ice. Foreigner. Okay, there you go. It was from that period, and it was one of them. Oof, reminds me of my mum. Cold as ice. That sounds like Family Feuds, or carrying some sort of trauma. Maybe we won't go there. Did I miss anything further back? No, that was the lick. Don't let those thoughts win. What we got here? Done a battle deep research into your situation. I'm delighted to tell you it's not as difficult as you think to monetize your channel. Plus, you would be entitled to a social exclusion certificate. I've got no idea what any of that means. You think I can monetize my channel despite not being not possessing a tax number or any tax details for Spain? From when it first happened, that seemed like not possible. When I first, I mean, I was monetized for a month, because once you reach the certain targets, the certain benchmarks they give you, I was automatically monetized and given a month to get all the details in on whatever kind of paperwork they need. But at the time, it didn't seem it was doable. What's a social exclusion order? You get access to services such as social services. You don't need an address. That can be organised. Don't forget, I had the head of welfare here in the field. It's not like I'm unknown to them. They're aware of me. And they came and got me a criminal record and a fine. That's very helpful. Oh, and got my dog kicked. That was a cunt that got my dog kicked. Which is one of the two possible reasons for her disability. Oh, from the police station. You think I'm walking into a fucking police station? Oh, man. People keep arresting me. You didn't attend court on the date that we didn't give you. Come and spend 24 hours in the cells. It doesn't sound very promising, to be honest. It doesn't sound very enticing. Can I get someone to go on my behalf? They have to help me by law. But first of all, they'll run me and see if there are any warrants. I'll look into it. You get the social exclusion certificate from the police station where you are. Which police? Policia Local, Policia Nacional, or Guardia Civil? See, there's 3 different police. You can get an advocate, but I can show you how you can do it. Okay. Send me some links or something, some info. I can read up on it now you've said it, but okay. That's interesting. Frightening. I can't imagine walking into a police station. Not after my experiences with the bastards. And my doggies. Oh, today I had some woman looking at me. So we walked over to the Chino Bazaar. And you go over there, the cars drive up like a ramp. It's elevated about, I don't know, 3 meters in the air from the normal road. And as I'm approaching, there's this woman. She's about to step up some steps, and she was staring intently because I'm carrying the back end of the dog. So I've got the dog lead in one hand, but I've got a belt wrapped around my wrist, well, my hand and my wrist, and I'm carrying her back end because I have to. It was basically, it started off, we were just going to go for a walk, and then I thought, oh, go on, I'll go over there and grab some beers. And she was just staring at me. And when I got to the top of the ramp and I turn and I tie Tina to the railings so I can go in, she hovered outside the shop. just glowering. And I'm talking to Tina. I'm like, oh, you sit there, darling. Okay, you can't get away. Don't pull. I'd got it tight secure. And I'm talking to her. And I'd take the belt from under her waist and put it in my pocket. And I start to go in, and this woman's just standing looking at me. As I get towards the door, she just turns and just steps through the door. But then she stops at like the first aisle, and I have to like more or less walk past her. And it's just the way she was looking. And it didn't look like she was looking like, oh, poor doggy. It looked more like bastard man. It looked more aggressively against me. The doggy wheelchair is still here, but it's a battle to get her in. So when you're just stepping out for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, firstly, I have to walk her for 5 minutes first, get all of that out of the way so that she's not pooing as I pick her up to put her in the wheelchair, or pissing down me once I pick her up. So you got to do the normal 5 or 10 minute dog walk first, then put her in the wheelchair, which can take 5 or 10 minutes depending on how much she wriggles, and she knackers my back because 35 kilograms of wriggling dog. And then we have to get up this track, up this road, which is slow going because of how eroded it's all becoming with the water running down here. So it's slow going, and I have to like assist and actually physically pull her along, give her a boost when the wheels get stuck on the stones. You add all of that together, and a walk that would be 5 minutes each way, so 10 minutes total, ends up at way above 30, 35 minutes. And when we get wherever we're going, I can't just leave her in the wheelchair. I have to be there because every now and again, she'll misbalance, she'll kind of fall backwards, and the whole wheelchair kind of lifts up and kind of, she ends up sitting on the back bar. It's just the way that she moves her balance and the way that she wriggles. So it's okay if we're going somewhere, it's going to be an hour that way and an hour back, or half an hour there, half an hour back. Yeah, wheelchair. But if we're just going to the top of the road and stepping over to the Chino Bazaar, I just use the belt. Her normal dog walk, we go up to the top road. So we're 2/3 of the way to the Chino Bazaar anyway, just a normal dog walk. I let her do her normal stuff. Then we went over, an extra 2 minutes walk, and 2 minutes around the shop, out, and 3 or 4 minutes back 3 minutes back in total, probably. It's just quicker to just do it that way than so the wheelchair is for proper out and about. Like, I still need to go to Tweeties at some point because who was it sent me money to go to Tweeties? Josie. It was Josie and Peter sent me money to go to Tweeties for my birthday, and I think the weather was against it and has been on and off. Fridays is always my preferred date for fish and chips, preferred day of the week. It just hasn't been conducive. But I do still, the money was given for that use. It has to be used for that purpose. Always hold to my stipulations, folks. Someone gives me money and says no alcohol, that money doesn't go on alcohol. Someone sends me money and says yes, alcohol, hey, party time. Someone sends me money and says fish and chips for your birthday. We might not manage it on my birthday, but we'll go get fish and chips at some point with that money. Them's the rules. Stipulations have to be met to the best of my ability under the circumstances available. Now, if someone sends me 20 euros and says beer, and it's my only 20 euros in the world, not beer. Probably not. You know? Because the realities of life, the exigencies of life, just, yeah, I will meet a stipulation as closely as I can under the circumstances. Sometimes circumstances get in the way. Let me go here. What? Well, hold on. There's Estranjero's office on Cali Fragata. A bit like the old job centre staffed by civis. I've got no idea where that is, but I can look it up. Terry's going to put it all in an email with the action plan and send it to me. Okay, mate. I shall review. Nervous about walking into an actual police station. The only positive interaction I've had with the police, really, is when the guy was sent by the dog pound people, by the alberg, to bring me the doggy wheelchair. And that kind of went sour as soon as he asked what was wrong with the dog. How did she end up like that? And I said, it was you guys. You kicked her. Me? No. I said, no, not you, but you, the entity, the police. They all play that game when you say, you lot, you guys. No, not me. It's like, no, you, the fucking police. You are a representative of that organisation. That organisation turned up here, 18 of you, to arrest me and kicked shit out of my dog. I don't actually know that it was being kicked by them. It was in the weeks after that the deterioration happened. I personally think it's just as possible it's a degenerative disease, like an MS, something like that. And I have evidence to kind of support that hypothesis. But a vet came and said no, spinal injury, and she basically said give her these painkillers for the next, was it 2 weeks? And if that doesn't fix it, then we'll have to look at options. By which she meant put her under. Not doing that. Not when there's zero sign of any kind of pain from her. And bearing in mind, I'm picking her up, I'm carrying her, I'm putting a belt under her waist, wrapping it around my hand, if there was something wrong with her back, I'd know about it. I'm picking her up off the floor and onto the bed. I'm physically manipulating her around the bed. When she gets on and she's facing this way and she wants to face the other, Morgan's is picking up the back end and swinging it around. It's very physical. And she's not once ever yelped with any pain. Except for when the vet picked her up and I think nipped her to make her yelp in pain. And then hinted that if painkillers didn't fix it, she might need to be put under. Got a strong suspicion that vet may have been trying to just line up a termination fee. I can't replicate her findings of manipulating her spine in any way to make any kind of yelp. And I'm picking her up and down all day, every day. When I do put her in the dog chariot, I'm literally picking up all 35 kilograms of her, and she's wriggling in my arms. Then I've got to get her back legs in the stirrups. Then I've got to get the harness clipped to the other, and it's all very physical. I'm picking up 70 pounds of wriggling dog, more. 35 times 2.2. 77 pounds. Maybe. Yeah. 77 pounds of wriggling dog. 35 kilo. Yeah. No. This is why I've got a bad back. We got pictures of doggies and dog bones and paw prints, so it's all very cute. As soon as the weather allows, we will get out and about a little bit more. The day that ended up decent was today. But I needed to manage my power. Yeah. And we probably couldn't, no, we couldn't have got this morning. Okay. So last night when the rain was bad, I did a video in the night. I mean, you can't see me hardly, but it had stopped raining and you could hear a fucking river outside running down the road. You could, well, maybe a stream. You could hear like a rumble in the background that was more like a river. That'll be the stuff going over the road and off down into the gully and off to the sea. But ahead of that, closer than that, you could hear a stream running. And in the morning, I waited. I couldn't walk her at the normal like 8 o'clock time or whatever. I had to leave it well nearer 9. When the rain had stopped. The rain had been stopped about half an hour. And when we got to the top of this track, we couldn't get to the main road. Because where the water comes out of the field and in the drainage ditch and kind of fords, it crosses, they designed a ford across the road and off into that drainage gully. It was still running, like ankle deep. And I love my doggy and I like to walk her, and she likes that little spot just around the corner on the main road. But I'm not wading ankle deep through kind of a 3 or 4 meter stretch. Once my feet are cold, I'm cold. I'm not deliberately plunking my feet in the middle of basically a river. Not for nothing. Not just to walk the dog an extra fucking 10 meters. So we turned around and came back down the road. And of course, the whole road, all these potholes where it's been churned up, are all just full of water. They're muddy puddles at that time in the morning, waiting for it all to drain away. If I'd put her in her chariot and gone out, she'd have probably dug up the road and got stuck in it. Even though it's kind of solid rock, well, it was solid rock, but it's getting churned, it's getting broken up. There are big ruts, is that the word? Big ruts in the road where car tires are digging in. Yeah, the number of cars that are bottoming out now, because one wheel goes down the rut, the oil pan gets that much lower and hits the rocks and the bumps in the road. It's almost daily now that somebody really crunches on the ground. And once a month they crunch so badly that they leave an oil slick and oil, and they have to get the car put on the back of a flatbed and taken away. Yeah, the tow trucks won't tow them from this road. They winch them up onto a truck to take away. Okay, folks, we're coming up on 2 hours. Are we carrying on? There's more of you here than I expected, given the short notice and lack of preparation for the stream. So far, I've managed to waffle on lots about the weather and about Christmas, preparing or planning for Christmas, the logistics. What else have we talked about, folks? Oh, this what's it called? It was a social exclusion certificate or something. Yeah, there you go, from Terry. Social exclusion certificate. And did you say that somehow leads to me being able to monetize the channel? Or am I conflating 2 different posts and 2 different points? Just reading back in case. Yeah, not as difficult as you think to monetize your channel. Plus, you would be entitled to a social exclusion certificate. I have the terminology. I'll better look that up to some extent and make a preliminary investigation. Keep calm and carry on. There's me thinking it's Sunday. Why is that? Because I'm streaming. Oh, I missed that one. When you do walk into the police station with what I send you, you'll have no problem, mate. Oh, and chin chin to your beer. Okay, there you go. I didn't see that. How do I miss these things? It's not even jumping around yet. That was Terry. I saw that one where Terry said he'd put it all in an email and send it to me. Ice cream Sunday. That's one of the dates you can eat out of a calendar, isn't it? Sundays. Okay, social exclusion. And what's the purpose of a social exclusion certificate? What does that grant me? Just as an aside, am I able to claim benefits at some point? Or get an apartment or something? Or a roof over my head? If the head of the welfare was here, the head of Torrevieja Welfare Services was here, should he not have organised that for me? Or at least offered it? Oh, I forgot, I've got some cola poured. How long's that been there? Since this afternoon. Do you remember the other night I had 3 different bottles of cola open? I'm not sure how. I just finished them, well, I will have just finished them all off today. That was cooler than I was expecting, considering it's not been in the fridge. Must be cold out here, folks. I'm not feeling it. I've just rolled my sleeves up. Must be cooler than I thought. What does it say here, temperature? I looked before, didn't I? Didn't it say like minimum temperature 11 tonight? Which is relatively warm. It's 11 now. That's as low as it says it's going to go. Oh, but elsewhere on the same screen it says it might go as low as 10. And then next week, 9s and 8s. But it only goes up to Tuesday. Yeah, anyway, put that down. That just feels cold actually to hold. Well, once you get that, you can get an NIE. Are you sure? Do they not like ask how long have you been in the country and then not like me because of that? The laws have changed when dealing with illegal immigrants, which I guess I am now. Do you know? So the question was, do you know Solidaris? No idea who or what or when that is. No. We don't get about much in the last year or two, certainly. Solidaris. Sounds like a nightclub or something. Which again wouldn't be somewhere that I would have ever been going. Solidaris. Sol as in son or solidarity? Solidarity. It sounds like Solidarność in Poland, wasn't it? Like Valenza. Valenza, right? Yeah, like Valenza. What we got? Homeless charity. Way back when this first happened to me, I looked for a homeless charity somewhere near Bar Carlos, and I had the address. I just couldn't. Addresses in Spain. A street name and a number won't get you there. It just fucking won't. There'll be 3 number 27s on any one road. A road will change from Avenida Paris to Calle Paris and back to Avenida Paris. And you don't know which part of the road you need to be. You've got a house number or something, a street number. It's just no. It's just no. Some houses have 2 numbers. They have the number within the urbanization, and then they have their assigned street number. And there's no real distinction. There's just 2 numbers on the side of a house. So you're on that road. So some houses are just entirely within the gated residence, the residencia or gated community. And so once you're inside, you find the house, and that's fine. When you're visiting a friend or something. But just walking down the road and a house has got 2 numbers painted on the gate outside, or nailed, screwed to the gate. Which is the street number and which is the internal number within the residencia? Nightmare. I mentioned the other day about a friend who had a house on a corner. And the Correos, the post office here in Spain, decided that although for the past 40 years that house has been on this road, they've now decided no, you're primarily this other road. And so you've got a new number, and a new street name and a new number. And all their mail went missing for like 6 months. Crazy. Oh, the it post stuff, yeah, that can work just off an email, as I understand it. A charity shop near. The big main. You see, okay, here's a bit of confusion. There are two Carloses. There's the big Bar Carlos. It's not Avenida Paris, but it's where Avenida Paris forks once you get towards the town centre. And then there's one on Avenida de la Mancha, which I guess calls itself Cafe Carlos now, to try and avoid confusion. When I first moved here, that was Bar Carlos as well, under Tweeties. Yeah, Tweeties. I got to get to Tweeties at some point soon. My arms are getting cold now. Actually, now I've done that. I used to see a charity type of a homeless charity van parked somewhere near the ship Hispaniola on. Oh, all of the roads around that area are named after fucking Jason and the Argonauts. I just don't remember which road that is. The ship Hispaniola. But trying to just trace a location on the side of a van didn't really work. Near the old Friday market. Yeah, that's right, because I lived at the bottom right-hand corner of the Friday market for 3 months when I moved here on Fuensanta, and my apartment bridged. It went directly between 2 roads. When you look at a map of the Torrevieja town centre, there's like a tram line. 2 streets that are really close together. Basically, there's just one apartment block. Like literally one apartment with between the 2 roads. Calle Fuensanta and Almudena. Yeah, I could get up on a Friday morning. I'd look out on my balcony, look up, and there was the bottom right-hand corner of the market. And if you went somewhere near the top left-hand corner, that would be Carlos. And they'd be packed. They'd be really busy on a Friday lunchtime. As the market started to wind down and people had been out all morning around the market. Yeah, the old market. That was hell. I'll WhatsApp when you're free. Give us an email and I'll send you WhatsApp details. Or phone number, I guess it is the thing, isn't it? Don't spend too long on it, Terry. It sounds like you like. I know you said you'd done a deep dive, but don't spend too much time on a fucking tramp. What to do and say? Will it tell me what to say when they arrest me because I've missed some court date that they never told me about? I'm being a little bit facetious, but this is the pattern. If you miss a court date that you've been told about, you get punished extra. Never happened. Never happened. But it doesn't mean that they don't rob a day of your life. Laying in a concrete room that's got bars from floor to ceiling at one side and just a bench under a window at the other with a single, like, long, shitty plastic cushion. And speaking of shitty, lots of brown writing on the wall where people stick their finger up their bum and then write whatever message they want to write. And sometimes the room smells of the shit. I talk about it like I'm an old lag, like I'm an old hand at being arrested. That's happened a few times. 90% of the time with no fucking consequences apart from losing 3/4 of a day in your life. Getting talked down to by some clerk in the court building. Having to put your fucking shoelaces back in your shoes afterwards. That's the way. There's nowhere to go to do it. If you walk out of the building with your shoes flapping about, an envelope in your hand with your possessions, they once lost one of my keys. Yeah. They'd searched me 3 times, and on the 4th search, they found a little key in my in the fob pocket of my jeans. I thought they'd already taken everything. I didn't know that they'd missed it. It's not like I was hiding it to keep it. But when I got my envelope back with all my belongings, that wasn't in there, and that was the key for the door to the balcony from my bedroom. See, I don't mind a good bureaucracy, but a bad bureaucracy that's not capable of doing its job, I really dislike. That can's going down a lot quicker than the first one. Here we go. Terry's getting a lot out of it himself, as at the moment I'm training as a prompt engineer. I'm hoping to get a placement with Google. A prompt engineer. It's part of UX design or whatever. Or UI, user interface or user experience. Prompt behind the scenes like a call center, or prompt on screen in dialogue boxes or something. Where are we going? Prompt could be for farming out call center jobs to India or wherever, and they just read from a script. That would be a prompt, wouldn't it? If that's where you go, I hate that. I hate any of that. Always do quicker with vodka. Vodka would be nicer right about now. I just threw away. My friend Karen brought me, I think it was like a third of a bottle when she left the country. Not the last time, the time before. I've just thrown that bottle away. I've just finished that. I don't know, a couple of days ago. Just put that in the bin bag. Oh, okay, AI. Okay, yeah, it could be. That's a different kind of prompt, isn't it? Yeah, how to write those extended the prompts for build me a picture of Conan the Barbarian, but make him have a cannon on his head, and we'll call it Cannon the Barbarian. Draw me a picture of Conan the Barbarian, but make him be a big religious book. We'll call him Quran the Barbarian. I could keep going all day with that shit. I used to make those. I've got a whole fucking shed load of them on Twitter. Conan as a barber. So he's got a big pair of scissors made out of swords. Conan the Barbarian. Conan in a pub serving drinks, but as a bear. Conan the Barbarian. What a fucking dick. I would do about 6 a day of those. I would do 6 days of those. Can you paint? Not Conan either. Can you paint? I'm lost. Can you paint? What is that? Just a question? Can I paint? I can slap paint on a wall. I can't paint proper pictures. That's what AI's for. Jenny Cooley Steve from the other week before he changed sex. Have you been socially excluded? What is that? I don't know, but it's apparently it's something that Terry thinks I may be able to apply for, and that might get me started with NIEs or I guess it's TIE nowadays. NIEs, government tax numbers, and welfare systems, maybe possibly. Never heard of any of it. I've had the head of the welfare department here in the field. Never mentioned any of it. He was a knob. Oscar, the head of welfare in Torrevieja. Not sure whether he's head of welfare as in works there, or head of welfare as in he's the politician and it's part of his brief or portfolio. However, politicians describe their role nowadays. I guess portfolio, minister without portfolio was a term once upon a time. So if you're in if you have oversight of some department, it's part of your portfolio. The guy was a knob. Then again, so am I sometimes. So can you paint? Not corner. I meant walls. I can paint walls. I'm careful. I'm in a precarious position because I'm not legal. Any work I did, if it was paid work, I could then be accused of fiddling tax avoidance, or whatever the term is. Enough legal problems without getting down that what's the word? Quagmire, I guess. Also, disabled dog. Winter scenes involving snow in a blizzard. Yeah. Foreigner's identity number. Used to be called NIE. In fact, NIE still exists, but for Brits, it's now a TIE. I'll just scroll back. That's the main objective. You have oversight. You can't go anywhere or do anything without that first. I've managed for 10 years. So even before being homeless, I managed without it. Social exclusion is not one certificate, rather means you're poor. I am poor. I have no income from anybody anywhere. Except begging on YouTube. I'm an e-beggar to all intents and purposes. Although I try to restrict it. You'll be able to have a bank account and have your phone transferred at the end of this. What do you mean have my phones transferred? I have a Spanish phone number. Who said about anyone getting paid? I've no idea. I don't know what this thing is. I'm asking. Yeah, when my money ran out and my UK bank wouldn't let me have my money. Yeah. But my UK bank don't accept that I'm me. And the only procedure they've given me is to walk into my local branch. First time you've heard of e-beggar? Oh, there's a lot. You want to look up a bloke online. What's he fucking called? Everybody refers to him by just 3 letters. He spent hundreds of thousands on one specific game online, and he literally sets a target, and he bitches. So let's say he sets a target of $200, and he goes live and he says, right, the target for today is $200. If I don't get it, I'm not going to broadcast anything tomorrow. Dark Side Phil, DSP. Side is spelt with SYDE, I think. Darkside Phil is the ultimate online beggar. He doesn't just beg, he kind of demands, he kind of extorts his audience. Right, I need $200. We got to get there now. We got 3 hours. If we haven't got there, I'm not going to go live tomorrow. Who was the other one? USA, Review Tech USA, RTU. Review Tech USA was another one. Over 1 million followers. His channel started off reviewing technology. And then it became about just sitting there watching him whine on about his life. And saying how little he's got and how bad life is, and he needed to raise money. And he got to the point where if someone donated more than, I think it was $20, he'd take his top off. And so people would pay just to make him kind of embarrass himself. He was a big, he's American. He was big in that way that Americans do. And he'd be sat there. I don't know if it's $20 or $50, but whatever. He'd set this target, and if someone put, that's it, top comes off, and for the rest of the show, the podcast or whatever you want to call it, he's topless. This is a bloke in his late 40s, 50s maybe. His mum burst in on him one day and demanded that he go and get his daughter into bed because she was playing up. Mom, I'm live. He's living in his fucking mum, like mum's basement, and neglecting his own daughter. When she was having some kind of what do they call it, like a temper tantrum, he wanted to carry on broadcasting to the world. He couldn't just say, excuse me folks, I'll maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10, I'll leave the stream running, but go make a coffee or something, and I'll meet you back here in 10. Instead of doing that and going and taking care of his kid, he bitched at his mum and dad. So e-beggars, they are a thing. It is a thing. What happens if I run into my bank? They want me to show a passport and 2 or 3 forms of ID, and then they free up my bank account, and I get access to my 6 or 7 grand that is currently stored therein. Just pounds sterling. But I have to go to my branch of my bank in the UK is the process they gave me. I asked about all the alternatives. Can I go to a notary and have them notarize the fact that I'm me? Can I go to a solicitor? Can I go to a policeman or the court building or the judge? Can I... No, 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 no. That's too big a risk. No, no, no. You got to come back to the UK, go into your branch and present three forms of ID, including a passport. So yeah, thousands of pounds in the bank, but homeless and living in a field for 3 years because my bank are a bunch of bastards. I was about to say I wouldn't mind so much, but I would mind. My branch doesn't even exist anymore. I got to go to a different town. So the whole thing's just a total fucking farce. Why would a phone call from a policeman not count? Or an email? Or a letter from a judge? Or from a notary public? Or from a lawyer? Not the process I was given despite all my protestations. I was due to be made homeless the next day. And, well, so I was dealing with what effectively, I don't know why this was, I was dealing with the complaints department, and she said she was running upstairs and speaking with senior management. And she used the word that no, they say the risk is too great. You have to come into the branch here. I can only quote the words they gave me. I have no idea. They're protecting me and my money by not letting me have my money because they don't believe that I'm me. And consequently, I live in a field for 3 years. And get a criminal record, which I've never had. I've had the police in the UK try and give me a criminal record on a couple of notable occasions. In particular, the one where I saved the policeman's life. And he thanked me. And they still tried to pin it on me. That rankles, that annoys the shit out of me thinking about that one. No. I have one form of ID that they reject. I have a waterlogged, water-damaged passport that they say doesn't count. I have some paperwork from the court here. I don't know whether that would count for anything anywhere other than in the courthouse, but that's it. A water-damaged passport from when the field flooded. Yeah. Don't know, folks. Where are we? Coming up in 2.5 hours. Still 14 of you in attendance. I know that people roll in and roll out. If you're here, folks, and you haven't hit that thumbs up, you might like to consider it. 20 is always the target. The record's somewhere around 46 or 47. I think that was from Christmas and New Year last year. So I don't expect that we'll be tripping up over those kinds of numbers just on a very random stream that came out of nowhere just after 11, wasn't it, tonight, my time. I'll finish that on the next gulp. You must remind me not to crush the can this time. I threw the last one away, leaving the lantern balanced on just 2 beer cans. Stood on a bipod rather than a tripod. And bipods are inherently unstable. Let's have a look, see what I can show you. There you go, next to the pepper. Obviously you got to have salt and pepper by your bed, clearly. Cola there. The beer there. Over there what we got? Oh, that's soapy water in that. The alcohol gel stuff ran out. That's just soapy water. For hygiene functions. Pepper. There were 3 cans here. When I finished the beer I was drinking and I took this can out, I crushed the other. I should have put the empty can under to help support, but didn't. The bin back there, that's my go bag. Come the end of the world and I need to run away quickly. That's got my my tent, my floor mat, and sleeping bag and other some dry clothes, dry sweatpants and socks and so forth. So I put that on a trolley and away we go. Come the apocalypse, me against the world. Me and my dog against the world. I might have to instead find a way of putting the dog on the trolley. Maybe. Oh, what time is it? It's not as late as I feel like it is it? I missed 1:42. No new notifications beyond UK reaches. Very generous donation. Don't do it again, you bugger. So yeah, it's been a while since anybody said anything. Is that just topics dried up, or it is? I thought maybe that chat had frozen. I've done that before. Sat here waiting for someone to say something, and then when I switch between the different modes of chat, top chat and back to live chat, or whatever it's called, suddenly there's 20 messages I've missed. Oh, sorry folks. Looks like I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm also getting a little bit ready for the loo. If we're carrying on beyond the 2.5 hour mark, I may need a little break just to visit the little boy's room. It's more of a little boy's Coke bottle with the top cut off, but you know. As Keith Chegwin found out, Cheggers can't be boozers. No, beggars can't be choosers. I do like that particular spoonerism. The Reverend Spooner. He was the head of either Oxford or Cambridge, I can never remember which. Oh, I've done it again. Done it again. Email me your number. I will do, mate. I will do. I'll get on it first thing in the morning. I can't do anything. Oh, actually, that's not true, is it? I could. Hold on. I could do that, but we'll speak tomorrow, maybe. Whoa! What happened there? Welcome to your daily board. What's my daily board? Key info at a glance. See the time, the weather, your schedule. What the fuck? Memos. What the fuck? They assume that everybody's living a hectic life with fucking diaries that are filled to the brim, and none of that. Nobody has. Most people don't have that shit. Quick access to nearby devices. The reason that they want your phone linking to nearby devices is so that you can transmit the details of that off to Google. No thank you, I keep turning that shit off in the settings. Customize your screen with favorite photos or a cool clock. No. Where's the back button? There's nothing on screen to cancel. You just have to guess. Let me go. Hold on. Gmail, where are you hiding? Bear with me, folks. I'm just going to send a quick email. As soon as I can find Gmail, which has just hidden itself. It's not in the Google Apps group there. It's there. Oh, first things first, what's my phone number? I never did manage to memorize this. I tried multiple times. I don't want to create a profile card. Take away shit that I don't need. Just give me what I need. Copy the number. Back to Gmail. Find the email in question. There we go. I won't dox you or give you a real name. I'll hit reply. A bit of introductory blurb. And paste. Paste isn't coming up. Why is paste not coming up? There we go. Hold on. Now, let's remove the spaces. For presentation, we like break it into threes. Isn't that the Spanish way? It is. 2 seconds, a bit of a closing. Best regards. First name. Okay. Oh, I typed my name wrong. Fuck, what a dickhead. Here we go. And it's sent. And it's gone. Alright, folks, sorry, not the most gripping video segment just that. But I figured I'd do it now rather than... I know, no rush, I know, but strike while the iron's hot. Exclamation unlurk. You should have just done /lurk inside the angle brackets. Do it HTML style. /lurk. You'll have your paired tags. Oh, unless it's a singular tag where you can just put the slash. We put it at the end, didn't we? Like with a break. Angle bracket BR space slash closing bracket, closing angle bracket. I haven't played with HTML in maybe 11 years now. Which is why I can't remember the names of half of the things. How long did it take me to work out what Jason stood for the other week? Was it Jason? I think it was. No, it wasn't. Or was it? No. I don't even remember. And look at this. It's only a few weeks ago. We had one of these web technology kind of discussions, and I couldn't remember what something stood for. I don't remember what XML stands for. The ML is markup language. The X extended? That doesn't sound right. Markup language. Oh, it's all gone. It's all fading, folks. It's all fading. I'm doing a Bruce Willis and forgetting everything. It wasn't JSON. That was a notation format that kind of tried to replace. That was a JavaScript notation. A JavaScript something object notation. Asynchronous? No. I'm gibbering. Yeah, lurk and /lurk would be how you would do it. UK Richie's lurk in the lurk mode now. Just came back to wish you all a good night. I'm off to bed. Okay. Good night, my friend. Sleep tight over in, is it Amsterdam? I know you're in Holland. Netherlands. Oh, we can argue about the Netherlands versus Holland thing again. Let's not do that. I think you're in Amsterdam. And UK Richie /lurk is back. I'm gonna have to go for a quick slash, folks. Quick wee. I think I'm going to carry. If there's an audience, if you're still here when I get back, I'll carry on. If you're sick of me already and you need to get off, then go do that. But I shall try and come back within the next couple of minutes. I'm going to hit the mic. I'm going to mute the microphone because it's not that far away. Okay, folks. Hopefully you can hear me again. Just get tucked back in. I had to stop for a little cuddle with my girl on the way back into bed. Hey. There you are. She's somehow twisted right around. So now when she looks at me, she's looking over her shoulder that way. A little bit weird. Here's something that happened this week that I haven't mentioned. I think it was yesterday morning. I sat on the edge of the bed, the bottom of the bed, putting my shoes on. And Tina was being a fucking nuisance. So I turned my head and the wall, so the bottom wall of the bedroom with the big arch, the big doorway, well, the sides that are still there, I turned right into it, trying to look around and see what Tina was doing. Crunch. And off comes the arm of the fucking glasses. Fortunately, our friend Josie, who's often in chat, had brought me a collection of spectacles. maybe 3 months ago now, maybe 4. I can't remember. And I was going to bring another can back to make up for the fact that I've messed up here. But I was able to put these ones on, dig these out of the bag and put them on. Power-wise, they're perfect, but they're very loose and they're actually quite wide. They don't, when I'm moving around, they just keep falling off and falling off and falling off. Also, the lenses are not quite seated in the frames properly. They look like they're about to fall out. I'm not sure what the score is there. I don't know if it's just a weird design or if they've picked up some damage along the way. Don't know. But I'm sick of breaking glasses. No Amsterdam for you. You're Limburg. Joe's is Amsterdam, isn't she? Maybe I'm getting confused. Goodbye, Mr. Rest, if you are still listening. And goodbye and good night. The rest of you, what do we want to talk about? Hold on. Caritas Torrevieja, they will help you with all the paperwork. It's absolutely free. I've never heard of it. There's a service they offer to British expats. I would suggest ringing them tomorrow to make yourself familiar. Caritas or Caritas. Okay, it's another name I need to look up, and I like unlurk better. Better than /lurk. Lurk and /lurk I would have gone with. But that's my HTML background. Even though I can't remember anything. It was the asynchronous requests with XML. Ajax. Asynchronous Ajax. And now I can't remember what it stands for. That was Ajax. JSON is the something JavaScript object notation. No, something like that. JavaScript. It's all so long ago. Extensible markup language was XML. I just remember the X is extensible, not extended. Because you can extend it, you can create your own tags in an XML document. There is a standard for defining such things. If I sat and thought about it all for a day, it would probably all come back. I could certainly still write a page of HTML and attach style sheets and JavaScript. I could probably still knock up some JavaScript if I thought about it long enough. It's been a while. See, my programming goes back to basic. Beginner's all-purpose symbolic construction code. Beyond that, we then had Visual Basic. Then when I got a job, we were using Perl and then Fortran, which is the wrong order, really. Fortran's a really old language. Perl and Fortran. What did I learn next? I dabbled a little bit in C#. Again, isn't that the Microsoft version of a language? I didn't do C, I skipped C. I'm sure that wasn't the end of it. I had all that playing about with text preprocessors like Rex and Regina. There's more, I just don't remember half of it. Christ, I can't even name half my old clients. Okay, I don't have a can of beer open at the minute, do I? Just bear with me, folks. Bear with me. I've got to work out how to balance this on one can. Is Fan still here? Gotta keep that lamp away from the can of beer. Emacs, that's usually a Linux-based text editor with no real user interface, isn't it? All just it's keyboard commands. That's a lot like what we were using when we were using Fortran. It was yanking and putting lines. I don't even remember. It was Fortran 77, but this was 97. Yanking and putting lines was as close as we got with. It was as close as you got to cut and paste. It's also long ago. Headley, I don't remember that one. I was one. See, I was mainly Windows based, except at work with Customs and Excise, which it was still called at the time. There we had our own mini computer in the department. I was in a management consultancy department, which now I can't remember the name of. I was just called MCS, Management and Consultancy Services. The idea was to try and reduce the amount of money that Customs and Excise was spending on external consultants by setting up their own internal consultancy department. And I was on there was two distinct areas. There were the actual consultants, and then there was operational research. The mathematicians, statisticians, and computer programming us, spreadsheets and stuff. Lots of spreadsheets and pivot tables and all that good stuff, which was my kind of forte. Math, statistics, computer programming, Excel spreadsheets, all that cleverness. We had this one laptop. Bear in mind, guys, this is 1997. We had this one laptop that cost 15 grand that we had the use of if we really needed to get something done for work at home or while commuting. This is back when 15 grand was a lot of money. Fuck. In fairness, we were saving the country fucking hundreds of millions, but yeah. Try to name text editors and things that we used. I don't remember. I honestly don't. What's the one that when you're in it, nobody can get back out of it again? You have to go off on a different machine and Google what the fucking exit code is. I don't know what that's called. It's a running joke within. Even in Linux, people who aren't familiar with it go in, they open a file, and then they can't log out. It is VAR, yeah, yeah. Once you're in, you can't get out unless you've memorized all these archaic fucking codes. It was VAR itself, yeah, but Vim was another alternative that maybe a bit later. I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know. Was it XI something or other to get out, and then you had to confirm with a Q or something? Expats. That doesn't. Is that a joke? Because we're foreigners. All those days with I was convinced Linux was going to take over the world. I went for an interview at Barclays Bank's head office. I'm trying to remember which interview this was, which town we were in. It was actually not just an interview, it was a whole assessment centre weekend. And I stood there and told the managers, the top boards at Barclays, that Linux was going to take over the world. Now, it runs the internet. It really does run the internet. But the year of Linux on the desktop has never happened. It's been promised for the past, what's this now, 30 years? But it's never truly happened. I think there are too many variants of it, too many distributions, too many quirks. Too often you have to dip into the command line, which, if you're trying to get something into mainstream use, popular use, you ask the average computer user now on Windows how often they've opened up a fucking DOS box or whatever that other thing was that came along after it. Yeah, supercomputers. Yeah, supercomputers, NASA, the internet. It's all Linux. But when it comes to word processing and spreadsheets, um, even though you've got OpenOffice stroke LibreOffice and any other forks that have happened since then, I'm not sure. Desktop computing just hasn't gone Linux. I tried it and tried it and tried it for years, Ubuntu, and then they fucked it up when they brought in that. They decided to throw away like a 20-year-old interface and switch. They're trying to build their own store into the center of it and have like a heads-up display popping out of nowhere all the time. Can't remember what they called it. And they had that pseudo taskbar down the left-hand column, like down the left-hand edge of the screen. It was trying to be more like the Apple, whatever theirs is called, rather than the Windows taskbar. I don't know. It's been years and years and years. Every Android phone kind of has it at the core, but not quite. Google went away and cloned it in a different programming language and whatever, didn't they? They say that they did it like behind a Chinese wall and reverse engineered, but didn't pass specific details to each other and didn't pass code. And they built something that would integrate and work alongside, but not a direct copy. And there was a big court case about it for lots of years, with multi-billion-dollar awards and appeals and retractions and reversals. No idea how any of it ended up. Yeah. Yeah, Apple bought not FreeBSD. That didn't they buy? They bought a license or for actual BSD, which is a Unix variant from back in the day. I think it was BSD. Nobody uses what? Cold. Nobody really uses cold anymore. All that stuff is in house. Don't know what cold is. Is that a typo? Maybe. I don't know. I went on late. I went on to proper integrated code. Okay, I'm with you. I was a coder, so I used code. Even now, I mean, you can do things. There are ways of building programs or apps or whatever that they say just by talking with AI and telling it what you need and having it do it. You're always going to need to be able to dig in and fix some issue or some error. You got to know how to test as well to find the errors because they will be there. You're going to need coders for some years to come yet, I would imagine, but eventually it'll go away. But coding, it's a skill. writing the code, documenting the code, if there's any kind of build sequence required, or compiling code. Depends whether it's an interpreted language or a compiled language. You'll always need code. Well, I don't know about always. You'll need coders for some time yet. And I did love a good integrated integrated development environment. Why was I saying design? Integrated development environment. Never got my head around GitHub fully. We used it, and I could make I already pull requests and all that, but too advanced for me. We used Tortoise SVN before that, whatever SVN stood for. Subversion. It was something to do with subversion, which was an earlier version of version control. Subversion. Whoa, reminiscing about code, folks. It's probably not everybody's cup of tea. It'll be demonstrated when you receive the email. Code not required. All these things are built with code. Code built upon code, built upon code. Codes and protocols. Oh. Okay, I think I'm getting tired, folks. Where are we? 2:56. Shall we call it quits at 3 on the 3-hour mark? Or does anybody want to carry on? If we get above 20, if we get to 20 thumbs up, so I'll think about carrying on. But by that, you've got 3 minutes of that. I'm sure you wanted to get away anyway. We'll maybe draw a line under it and call it quits. I was mixing my, not really metaphors, was it? But mixing my idioms. Call a line under it and draw quits. Okay, folks, I think we're going to call it quits in the next couple of minutes. So I shall thank you for joining me on this rather unplanned, really, really random. I'll probably rename the stream after. So this is I have like a backup stream ready and waiting to go at short notice. This was that. So it's not really named. The details aren't filled out. It is just a standby stream so I can go live at relatively short notice. I had to run around and bring the EcoFlow over on wires and lights and, get the dog on the bed. She was on the floor after eating, I think. But there you go. It was really, really random. I think there was just a message came in. I was ready for bed when I noticed your random live stream. Yeah. I do apologize, UK Richie. And your wallet just fell out of the bed and you started flinging money around. Cheers, mate. Thank you. But watch yourself. Be careful out there. Only donate what you've got and what you can afford not to have. All right, folks. I think we're coming up with 1 minute to go. I gotta see if she's. Hey, babe. You are there. Hello. I'm gonna bring the camera over. So people can say goodnight to Tina. Oh, here's one. Just to fill a minute or two. There's a guy who sends me comments. He's not present in chat usually. He sends me comments. And a couple of times lately, he sends me a really nice comment. And then I think he watches while he's at work. He has it on in the background kind of thing. He sends me a really nice message. Like, hello, Chief, how are you doing? Hope you're all okay today, yeah? And then he's just lately, half an hour after the nice message, there's some, what I interpret as quite snippy weird messages. This is a guy who's been around here like forever. And he sends me a message saying, "You've got a dog? Why have you got a dog?" And I'm like, what the fuck? Tina's in like almost every fucking video. How could you be around this long and not know I've got a dog? And why, like, the aggressive messaging around it? I'm wondering if he puts his phone down while he's at work and somebody else picks it up and some random weirdo sending me messages. Or is the guy schizophrenic or psychotic or something? Anyway, I just thought of that because of that maybe dementia. I don't know. I mean, he's always seemed like a really nice bloke, and I've enjoyed like the back and forth. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm kind of suspecting that maybe he's just at work and someone else is picking up his phone and having a dig. I don't know. Anyway, folks, Terry said, UK Richie said, a pleasure. Just be careful, mate. Not too much, not too often. Have a good sleep. Mike says, this is Terry. Have a good sleep because tomorrow could be the beginning. Open your future. Okay. We shall see. And, okay, that was the maybe dementia. Okay. I'm going to try and leave you in the manner to which certainly I've become accustomed. Whether you have or not, I don't know. It is a little bit. I hope she isn't asleep. She wasn't asleep a minute ago, so I hope I'm not disturbing her unnecessarily, I don't want to be waking her up just to... There you go, look, eyes are open. So, folks, from Tina. I'm going to put it down here quick so I'm in the light. And from me, Delta Mike. Out.